Hello, hello, hello. What is good, world? If you're watching on the stream, this is TPN, the walk-on for the Props Network. I am Joel Walkowski, looking as bald as can be in the stream. You don't see a horseshoe like that on somebody's head this side of a Colts helmet. It's okay. It's not a Victory Monday. We treaded water. We're ahead on the weekend. But you know what? It's as close to a Victory Monday as we can get. For Eric Ebron is an NFL punchline once again, letting down all of the wonderful, obese fans of the Pittsburgh Steelers over the weekend. He's fumbling touchdowns. He's dropping passes. Steelers, you might have a great history of coaches. You might have a great history of quarterbacks, Super Bowls, defenses, player development, running backs, receivers. But you got one thing, the franchise, this great run team throughout NFL history, a crown jewel of the Rust Belt, if you would argue that, I would agree. But nothing can prepare you for the Eric Ebron experience, my least favorite athlete of all time. A lot of athletes I'll hate because they're good, like LeBron James or Anthony Davis. Eric Ebron, I hate because that guy sucks. You know, the Lions, they famously lost a game to Aaron Rodgers on a Hail Mary 5 years ago, and that happened, Sam. Do you know what brought that about?
I do not know.
I was watching in a bar in Miami, Florida, and I chanced to watch it with one of the Lions fans' groupies, and her assignment was to be Eric Ebron's father's girlfriend, and that Ebron suckitude, it tracked me down in a Miami sports bar, and it made me lose.
Who assigned her? Ebron assigned her that?
Well, she's just been very close to the team, so I got the impression she dated players for a long time, but she'd aged up, still loved the Lions, and was now dating players' fathers.
Can we address your Steelers obesity claim from your previous statement?
Did I say something about the Steelers fans being obese?
You did. Where does that come from?
I just maybe it's just my impressions, because sometimes they'll show Roethlisberger, and I think it's shots of their fans, so maybe that's how I got the impression.
Yeah.
You know, there are a couple. Listen, if you're a public team and you're not in Dallas and you're not in San Francisco, you're not in Seattle, your fan base is probably pretty obese. Packers fans, Steelers fans, they've got the homegrown American vibe to those fan bases, but homegrown American fan bases eat homegrown American meals. So we live in New York City.
Sure.
You know, Steelers country, Packers country, and like I don't have much. I'm a Lions fan. I don't have much to insult these guys about, so I call the fans fat. Is that bad?
No, fair enough.
I don't like fat people. A lot of people. There is a body positivity movement. My mom lost 250 pounds over the course of my life.
Whoa.
Yeah, she became a much better person. So like I've seen firsthand, like that your entire personality can change with your body. My mom, growing up, I would watch her fight a car. Like one of my first memories is her, this fat woman sitting. Oh, I forgot you listened to the show. This beautiful, overweight woman sitting in front of a car so it can't move. And now she's basically Phil Jackson. She reads books. She does her morning pages. She's meditative and hard to follow in conversation. She's great. But that wouldn't have been possible.
Props to your mom.
And yeah, okay, so I will say I have a lot of hot takes. Probably my hottest take, the best sports watching experiences aren't good sports watching experiences. Everybody knows me. I'm the NBA guy. I'm banned from talking about NBA as much as I like to on this show. You know, really, it turns my producer Sam into Kelly and Conway. Shut up about dribbling. That was a fun one. But I had the best time watching the NBA Finals these past two games. Game 5, I go out to Kent Street Ale House in beautiful Brooklyn, New York, wore my mask, sat outdoors, and then as soon as the fourth quarter tipped off, they shut off all televisions. I was on my own, couldn't watch it anywhere, so I went to a huge apartment building, watched on the street from the sidewalk. Luckily, Miami won, and they extended it to Game 6, which is how it should have gone. Like, LeBron got his ring. Jimmy Butler got his shine. He's now in the postseason like runner-up pantheon alongside Charles Barkley, Allen Iverson. Across from him, LeBron James is next to Jordan and Kareem in the GOAT talk. And Anthony Davis, his resume is out to a better start than any of his competition for being the best player of this era. So I think you have like great effects for three guys who matter in this league. And Jimmy Butler, if you were ever a mover, this was your Allen Iverson experience. The dude just worked. There was a blue-collar mentality throughout his entire play, and he couldn't hold up for Game 6. And, you know, I will admit, I saw every second of the NBA playoffs this year. There wasn't a game that missed, but when Game 6 happened, I turned it off as soon as the outcome wasn't in doubt.
You just didn't care about any of the celebration.
Here's my thought. I'm happy for LeBron. I'm happy for Davis, Caruso, Rondo, but I don't want to have an image of Dwight Howard holding the Larry O'Brien trophy in my mind.
Yeah.
I don't give him that much respect. I don't give him that much credit. And there is no asterisk to this title because of the NBA bubble. These players, they were isolated. They competed under extremely rigorous conditions, probably the hardest any pro athlete will compete under in this year of 2020. And so you can't give them the asterisk for that. But I will give the Lakers an asterisk for having Dwight Howard on this team. Did not deserve to have his legacy vindicated. It will go back in history at, this ring turned around Dwight Howard's career. He won a ring in Orlando just like he promised. Really? You were benched in the deciding game of the finals for Alex Caruso. Dwight Howard is a loser, even in winning an NBA championship. We saw the best big man of his generation turned into a low-level WWE thug. It was disgusting to see. This is a guy who could have been one of the top 25 players of his generation. Instead, he's just 6 fouls in a 12-man role for a contender. And you know what? With the NBA, I often feel like the best story gets told. And my first reaction today, congratulations, LeBron. Congrats, Anthony Davis, Jeannie Buss, and congrats to friend of the show, Jeff Pearlman. I'm sure he'll get another book out of this very soon. We know he's got the Bo Jackson book next, but, for now, I think these Lakers could be on the docket for him.
What about just a bubble book by Jeff Pearlman? Imagine the stories he could
I would take a book by Jeff Pearlman on just the Daniel House incident. I mean, if we're going to talk about who became the greatest of all time in this bubble, it is not LeBron James. It is Daniel House. To sleep with the person allegedly who administering the COVID tests, that's amazing. You can tell if that was the hookup scenario, maybe some nostril play was involved.
Love nostril play.
Love nostril play. We call it the COVID swab. It's a lot of fun. So the best story gets told. The NBA, they got a lot of new stars arriving. Shouts to Tatum, shouts to Murray, shouts to Mitchell, shouts to Jokic, shouts to Bam and Jimmy Butler. A lot of guys arrived on the stage. But, as soon as this ends, I got to look forward to next year because the fact is LeBron James has never beaten, a healthy Warrior team. I know 2016 happened, but there is a Warriors team with 9-1, and Sam, NBA title odds when we've lived through a decade that's proven one thing. If you can make a certain amount of your threes, you are unbeatable. So we have a team with not only a healthy Steph Curry, not only a healthy Klay Thompson, a motivated, and let me just say, if you didn't pay attention this year, Draymond Green submitted a love of basketball year for the ages. And then alongside that, they've rejuvenated Andrew Wiggins, one of the great prospects of this era of basketball, and they have the number 2 pick in this year's NBA draft. I look at the odds right now. I see the Warriors are a 9-1 title favorite. And Sam, I know we share an account, so I'm ready to throw down $100 on Warriors NBA title next year.
9-1.
Yeah.
We could consult Donnie about that, who will be on with us shortly.
Donnie will tell us, hey, you should just watch college basketball instead. He's got some real ulterior motives when it comes to hoops.
I'm watching him turn off his ceiling fan right now.
Oh, wow.
Really
You know Donnie's sweating. But the most successful NBA gambler I knew, his play was he bet on the Lakers to win this title the day last season ended. You know the Warriors are a well-run franchise. You know they're going to make the moves to put themselves in contention. What my buddy Tom Gutenberger, friend of the show, and that's a mouthful to say, so you can tell it's a two-way street. We like him too. You're not saying Gutenberger unless you really have regard for someone. He got the Lakers. What do you think his odds were for the Lakers title?
No idea.
39-1 last offseason. They didn't make the playoffs. There was no Anthony Davis. There were no Morris brothers or Rondos in the mix, and he placed it before the transaction. And if you are going to do that with the NBA, we know certain teams are always destinations. Certain teams always do a good job. So
is 9-1? I mean, haven't they already accounted for that? Like, are we really getting good value at 9-1 on the Warriors right now?
Well, that's just because our account is in some shady offshore place. Sorry, we guys in New Jersey, we had a glitch there on the record. I keep making these people mad. I love working at the Props Network. I love partnering with this likable, feisty gambling startup, and it hasn't been exclusively a two-way street this week. I'm in hot water with the folks this week because I got in a hot box for my gambling pick video. I'm talking Saunagate.
Yeah, Saunagate. We can go there.
Can we go to Saunagate?
Sure.
Okay, so I work hard. I toil. I sweat, and not just because I'm in a sauna, making relatable gambling content for the masses here at the Props Network.
Love the masses.
But, last week was my busiest week. We all know that since we're located in Michigan, we filmed I had my midterms for school. This is my priority, but I gotta do something with the other 40 hours a week. So I let the fan therapy guys. Shouts to Joff Stevens.
Shout to Joff.
Shouts to Joff. Don't be smiling when you say his name. That's his name.
I just didn't know. I've been saying Jeff for weeks.
Hey, I said Jeff. I said my best friend Apu's name incorrectly until last week. He corrected me. But these guys are they're at my house. They're filming. I just want to tack on the video in this busy week so I can get it done. And I just think, where do I go? What's a big part of my life? I'm a sauna guy.
You love the sauna.
I love a sauna. And it's not like I did any gimmick. And a lot of people, they have this impression that saunas can be a haven for, what was the activity you said?
Oh, no, I'm not going there, though.
Okay, Sam said my video is too homoerotic. First of all...
Okay, bad choice of words. Maybe, as you said, you've already corrected me.
Regular erotic. It was just erotic.
It was regular old run-of-the-mill erotic. It was not erotic in any other way than that.
Yeah, and I can't see my friends right now. I can't see my community, my family.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I'm in the best shape of my life. Mm-hmm. So if I'm going to shoot the pics, when I told people about the gate, people know me. They know my habits, and they're like, well, you probably weren't wearing a shirt. Was I wearing a shirt, Sam?
Technically.
I was wearing a jacket.
Where was this? At what level was said zipper?
It was unzipped to the middle of my chest, maybe the top of my navel area. I had the gold chain glinting. I had the print swim trunks from Scotch and Soda. That's a premium Holland brand.
Yeah, those are $70 swim trunks. At least.
Absolutely. Swathed in Scotch and Soda in a custom tracksuit. For a sauna, I'm practically in a hazmat suit.
Okay.
And so Sam still thinks I'm showing too much skin.
You didn't mention the thighs.
There were some thighs out there. That goes without saying. Mm-hmm. It looked like a Popeyes 3-piece over there. A lot of greasy thighs going around.
Listen, the eroticism was not even the biggest problem with that video.
Because there were some sound issues.
So, listen, if you can get, I see we have a total of 3 people watching the stream. If you can get 5 people to make a request by the end of the show to run the video, I'll run a clip of it at the end of this very show.
All right, well, tweet at the Props Network.
Comment on the YouTube
Comment
or the Twitch.
on the YouTube to run the video. I'm gonna send a tweet here right now. Where's our tweet about the stream, Sam?
No tweet about the stream today?
No, well, I mean, I'm not the one in charge of the show's social media. I just write, produce, star, and talk my ass off in the whole thing. If they get 5 people to watch the show. Can we do a show live from a sauna? Maybe that's the way.
No.
Why?
Unless you're going to find a special sauna-friendly mic.
Okay.
You will not. While the issue of the thighs could be solved, the issue of the mic maybe cannot.
I'm just saying, what do I tweet here? It's hard to tweet and talk. And really, this is not good content right here.
Terrible. I'll be editing this out of the pod.
You'll be editing this out? The sauna conversation?
No, while you tweeted, we'll be editing out until 17 minutes. What did you go with?
If 5 people request a sauna on this stream, by the time I go off air, I will be allowed to author content from a sauna.
Yes, fair enough. Deal. Now on with the show.
1 second. Man, this guy loves saunas.
We definitely have a record for sauna talk.
And you know what? The problem isn't that I like saunas too much. I would argue that the problem is you don't like saunas well enough.
I like clean audio.
You like clean audio. Come on by. Come on over to the Box House Hotel. They got a nice hot box house over there. I'll get the coals going for you. Mm-hmm. I had a great time over at the Bet Bunker on Sunday night. I came over here. Sam had a nice outdoor setup.
Beautiful setup.
We maybe won some money. We maybe didn't, but it's about the memories we had the whole time. And I could not believe the amount of conversations we had about bad football teams yesterday.
Yeah, 1 or 2.
The entire conversation, every conversation went back to Trevor Lawrence. He's the number 1 guy going on right now. But, if you can't have the NFL to cheer for, if you are a Giants or Jets fan, maybe Trevor's what you want to root for, but maybe if you're looking ahead to next year, if you're imagining Trevor Lawrence in green and white, maybe you should also imagine Steph Curry going to the NBA podium in front of a packed house at Chase Arena, taking the Larry O'Brien from Adam Silver, because that's what we're getting. We're getting the Warriors over the Nets. You think it's LeBron's story? No, this is about the story we have with KD and the Warriors. That needs to end. Nets, Warriors next year. I'm going to find a specific book, and I'm going to bet the Warriors over the Nets in the finals.
What would you say the odds on that would be?
That's got to be 40-1 easily.
At least.
If not more.
At least 40.
I feel it in my bones. I feel it in the fiber of my being, so I'm going to bet Nets to lose to the Warriors and Nets to lose to the Lakers as a bit of a hedge.
I like it.
Yeah. We know how this thing will break out. The stars are going to tell their tales, and that's just how it goes. So, let's go through the future ads before we end this opening segment, and maybe we'll see value. First, Lakers plus 350. Good odds, stay away. Clippers plus 400. Do not make that bet anyway.
No way.
4-1 is terrible. The same is true of Bucks 5-1. Yuck. Oh my gosh. Since the time I made my notes on DraftKings, the Warriors odds have shifted from plus 900 to plus 600.
What?
In an hour.
What happened?
They watched the walk-on. I made a persuasive argument. You see it reflected here.
That's crazy.
We have the Nets 9-1, the Heat 9-1. Ooh, I would place this. The Celtics 12-1 for sure. Raptors 16-1. No, thank you. Nuggets 20-1. Nice odds. People don't respect a sports team in a mountain state. That's just how it goes.
Not once, not never.
Do we have a comment? Is that a Sonic comment coming in?
I see nothing.
Oh, damn it. Really exposed here. And let's see, are there any long shots to win the NBA title? The Sixers at 30-1, maybe if Doc Rivers could coach. The Suns at 100-1. I would put $10 on that. It doesn't rain in the great city of Phoenix, but we can make sure it sprinkles some shekels. Not
a chance.
What? The Lakers, they went 19-10 in the bubble. Do you know the Suns' record in the bubble?
Like 1-8.
8-0, undefeated in the bubble, weren't allowed to compete in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. But, if we talk about the win percentage, I could argue that the Lakers are the runner-up.
Fair enough.
This was the Suns' title, the only one they've ever won. And, yeah, I'm not seeing any other long shots worth really indulging. Suns at 100-1, that's my pick. Oh, the Pistons are 500-1. That's just genuinely sad. 500-1. We got Blake Griffin. We got Derrick Rose. If this were the 2011 NBA title they were competing for, I dare say we'd be a favorite.
Those guys are still in the league?
Yeah, close personal friend Blake Griffin is certainly in the league. He's a good stand-up, too.
Great. Book him on the show.
Okay, I will. Okay. Blake, come on the show.
Unlimited sauna content if you pull that off.
If I get Blake Griffin?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make it happen. I think we got Blake on for today, actually. But before we get to him, let's do our favorite thing. It's an ad read, baby. Are you located in a state with legal online sports betting? Do not make a bet this season before you visit thepropsnetwork.com. Thepropsnetwork.com has you covered with free bets and special bonus deals from all the top U.S. online sports books. Get $30 free bets and up to a $600 risk-free bet at Unibet, or you could claim up to a $1,000 signing bonus bundle from DraftKings Sportsbook. Or you could try PointsBet Sportsbook with 4 risk-free bets using up to $1,000 with promo code BONUSPROPS. I will add, we do the Friday prop drop every week on this show. We always put out the lines. They're usually from Bonus Props. Why? Because they have the best lines for these sort of things.
Be PointsBet.
That's PointsBet. Sorry, my mistake. I looked at the code when I meant promo code. The heart was there. I just misspoke.
PointsBet.
Yeah, PointsBet has the best lines. They have the best celebrity ads.
The best.
And if you're trying to shop these lines, maybe you want to account for all of them. Then you can use the propsnetwork.com. Because we're the only betting news site with live NFL odds for every game. So then you can shop the comps and know you're getting the biggest payout possible before you lock in your bet. Do your bankroll a favor and check out thepropsnetwork.com. Must be 21 or older to bet online. Do you or someone you know have a gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER today. All right.
Well done.
Good ad read. Flubbed a few things, and we do miss Brian here today. He's a vital part of this, but he had the day off for work, so he decided to take the day off, and I respect that.
Well, now that he's a judge, I think he gets national holidays.
Can you believe how we were ripped off by the CBS NFL show?
They did a court segment, and they had an African-American man in a curly wig. Tell me that's just random kismet.
I mean, it's kind of like when you applied a job at SNL and then you watch SNL that next year. They do a sketch that isn't yours, but dang if there aren't some similarities. Very questionable. Also very questionable are the ethics of today's first guest. A lot of people, they'll see this guy, they'll see him a real sweetheart, but I just see a stone-hearted shark that is destined to burn in hell. Please welcome from the Vanderbilt University, Donnie Singstack. What's up, nerd? How are you?
Hey everybody, how you doing?
Dang, you got glasses, you got a hat on, you look like the damn incognito mode. What's up, Don?
Hey, no, I just had to get ready. I was doing homework.
Ready for what?
For the show.
All right, baby. What's that hat you got on?
The Nashville Sounds. Minor league baseball team here.
Minor league baseball team. That is what's up. Let me just put my computer in a less distracting spot. That's good. That was bad. I wanted to keep a net. That was so bad.
No, it's first things first. Huge happy Columbus Day to Brian. I know he's celebrating.
Yeah.
Proud Italian.
That's why he's always talking with his hands. Sendejo.
Yes. A big field.
So to open, can we just get rid of fantasy football? Like,
Yeah.
COVID's not going to stop the NFL season, but it should probably stop a fantasy football team.
I really can't stand having DK Metcalf on my teams. He is the most infuriating player. Good, really good.
Yeah, I mean, just based on the muscles, and like we've talked about on the show, he's good for me because representation matters. But, you know, my $1 million idea, if I can't make money doing the walk-on the Props Network, what do you think about this business idea? A sports bar where you're not allowed to discuss your fantasy team.
That's a good idea. They should have that night at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah, and no fantasy night, because nothing ruins like the experience of watching a game. As soon as a guy goes into the end zone, you have to hear some nebbish fan go, "Oh yeah, he's on my team. He's not on my team." We don't care. Fantasy football, there's no way to set your team. Get out of the kiddie pool. Gambling, it's legal in a lot of places. It's going to be legal everywhere. Come on, swim with the sharks, baby.
Yeah, it's. I'm in 4 different leagues this year and couldn't care at all about any of them.
Yeah, but that's the hard thing when you're like us. When you're one of the DraftKings at comedy, people, we're good in the league. People want us in there. Our presence legitimizes it. So I'm in 4 leagues. I've turned down invites to 12 leagues. Like, I don't want to play. If I like you, though, I'll say yes. I'll get in there, and then I won't do a fucking thing.
Yeah. I set up my lineup. I can't be driven because I've got so many players when you have that many teams that whenever anyone scores a touchdown, you score and get scored against.
Yeah, and we want to be decisive because we came in, we like agreeing on something. We like to have like a firm agreement, and that's what we tried to do with this week's bets. I think we did all right. We'll get into it. Before we go there, I do want to say I cost the old boy Sam some money. Sam had a 7-leg parlay and everything hit. And the last bet was Russell Wilson to score more than 2.5 throwing touchdowns. I told Sam to sell the ticket. What'd you get offered for that ticket?
I got offered less than half of the winnings, which was around $500.
Okay.
It was a $30 parlay.
$30 parlay.
7-legger.
7-legger like the dog I have from Chernobyl.
First 6 hit. Now, I don't blame you though. You helped me make the decision, and I still, even though the rush that I would have felt at that last second when Russ got his 3rd touchdown to win the game would have been incredible, right?
Would have been great.
The process of getting there would have been horrific.
Yeah, that game, so many things just perfectly aligned for you to get that bet by the skin of your teeth.
Yes.
Just knowing that it was a rainstorm in Seattle, you have to sell that ticket.
No, I stand by it. And, you know, when I looked at the Vikings then, while you were still there, they haven't given up a lot of passing touchdowns. You know, you could just argue that really that was a dumb leg to have in that parlay in the first place. And I recouped everything I lost on the Chiefs by cashing it out. So I end the day plus money and happy.
Yeah, because the goal is to end your Sunday plus money. And if you can end your Sunday up $500, I still think that's a pretty good Sunday. How about you, Don?
Oh yeah, that's fantastic.
Okay, so how did I know we had a rough start to the weekend.
Yeah.
So we opened up Saturday, college football. I did a 5-leg parlay that, was the right thinking, was the right logic, and the LSU Tigers and Ed Orgeron took me out of the game very early. How about your Sunday start?
Yeah, I had a very similar thing. A bunch of goal line stands not go my way 3 times back to back to back.
And it's
One, LSU.
LSU.
4 plays at the goal line to get in the end zone. They won the national championship last year. Their home stadium is getting flooded by a 4th, 5th hurricane, and all you have to do is get 1 yard in 4 plays to raise that city back up to what it was, and they couldn't do it.
And it's against Mizzou. Mizzou's the second worst team in the SEC right now.
I'm Vandy.
Yeah,
forget us.
Go Vandy. I don't even the Commodores.
This is the Vanderbilt University anchor now. They do this. VU. It's pretty cool, right?
Man,
that's like our book of horns.
If you accidentally do that for the Shocker, some poor lass is going to end up in the hospital.
Oh, that's okay. There's no one here.
Okay, and it was crazy because, you think LSU, they'll just basically, by virtue of them being LSU, they'll be able to get the best linemen in the country on 4 plays. They couldn't generate a push against Missouri. Absolutely infuriating. But that's why we love the SEC. SEC is the best football league in America right now.
Absolutely. And then I had the dumb decision to go towards the Big 12 and nearly had a heart attack on the Texas-Oklahoma game. I feel bad for anyone who had money on either side of that game.
So I would have been there with you. I had to work a little bit on Saturday afternoon. Did you bet Texas, right? I got a Facebook message from you saying I'm all in on Texas.
Yeah, they were down 2 scores. Got them plus 250. And they come back and tied the game up. Sam Ellinger, there was no timeout. He does the Russell Wilson drive that ties the game. And then it looks like they're going to win in any of these overtimes. Oklahoma's on their second quarterback, and they just couldn't stop them. At one point in the third overtime, Oklahoma had an easy field goal to win. And they have the best kicker in the entire country. And I was like, oh my God, I lost. And then he missed it. So it goes to 5th overtime, 4th or 5th overtime. Who cares? And then Sam Ellinger puts a kick in that one. And then they kick it in the next overtime.
And then game over.
Game over.
Poor Don goes down. So that's 2 goal line stands. And then the third, I think you had a pick about an over in the Vanderbilt game.
No, that wasn't it.
But you based it on there being a torrential rainstorm.
Yeah, that was the one.
And then you lost that pick, didn't you?
Yes, that one also.
Yeah, you bet the under in a torrential rainstorm, and the under still didn't hit. I glanced up, and I just saw South Carolina, was it right?
Yeah,
long, rough rushing touchdowns all over the place. But you know what?
But the third time I lost my goal line was I took Georgia in the first half.
Yeah, and they did get held up at the end of that half.
They got held up at the goal line for 4 plays against Tennessee, any one of which they could have scored at any point, and decided not to. And that is where we got our hole. Another just kind of a microcosm of the week they did was done.
Yeah, and Saturday around 4:30, I see my weekend. It's skiering off track. I don't like it, so I had to I wasn't proud of this, but I had to dust off the reverse jinx. Nobody likes the Tennessee Volunteers more than friend of the show, Drew Morgan. So I had to tell Drew, don't worry, you guys have got this. I bet on Georgia -12. As soon as I send it, Georgia goes on their run. The defense is scoring. Tennessee can't hold on to the ball. Georgia wins and covers, going away. Beautiful. Glad to see it. And, you know, if that's the case, I had to meet with my tutor on Saturday night, Don. You know, my statistics class, it ain't going great. So,
No, I know that.
Yeah.
Isn't he your tutor?
Legally or not legally, we'll see.
No, Donnie did tutor me, but this class I have to do it all in Excel. So I found a guy to tutor me in Excel, and that guy Lee, shouts to Lee at Wyzant.
What up, Lee?
He goes to Clemson, so I was like, you know, I gotta bet Clemson in this big showdown. First the Miami Hurricanes, and Jesus Christ, I'm gonna kill that Clemson kicker. Oh, I hate him. I know they won the game. I know they covered easily. But end of the first half, they're in full control. Dabo Swinney sends this kid out to kick a 61-yard field goal, and it gets returned for a touchdown. Oh, kill it.
Yeah, it was not what you wanted, but I stopped watching Clemson after the first quarter, so I think that's the best bet on the board at any weekend is Clemson to win the first quarter.
Yeah,
That's where you get the best odds. You can get on the favorite. They won all of them. Never steer me wrong, and that's what got me back on track to finish the weekend 9-0.
9-0, you finished the weekend. So let's hear about your weekend run, huh? So after you get on your run, what's your Sunday? What's your undefeated route here?
Big 13-point teaser, and I didn't even need it. Everyone pretty much took care of business like we expected them to.
What were the 4 teams?
The Rams, the Texans, crushed the Jaguars, the Cardinals beat the Jets pretty easily, and I had Pittsburgh plus 5.5.
Oh, beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's go through all your bets for the weekend, then I'll go through all of mine.
Yeah.
So easy hit, no question about it. Maybe a little scary for Pittsburgh for about a minute there, but otherwise, no doubt.
No doubt. And I also was the Tennessee Titans game wasn't on a local broadcast here, if you can believe that. It might be on a local broadcast on Tuesday night, but we'll see.
Oh, I'm just on a tangent.
Yeah.
I'm ready to throw the house at the Bills tomorrow night.
Absolutely. They haven't practiced.
Yeah,
Have you heard? I'm not sure how much national media this is getting, but they had a 15-player practice that they might get in trouble for at Montgomery Bell Academy, some big private school down the street in Nashville, where Kirk Herbstreit is there.
Ooh, that's a nice inside Nashville territory. If you're somehow looking to locate Kirk Herbstreit's children, Donnie just told you where.
That's probably fine.
Yeah, probably fine. It's good. So, but I think there's like an unprecedented gambling opportunity here. I love it. We take Buffalo tomorrow night, and then 6 days later, Monday Night Football, they're hosting a pissed off Kansas City Chiefs team. We roll those profits that we make on the Bills against the Bills. You know, Kansas City, I still love them. I still thought they were going to come back and win that game even when things were dire. I'm sure we'll get into that because I know we all lost some money on that one. We shared the bet together. We're all on the same account, so you had a piece of that.
That's true, but I didn't. No personal loss. I'm saying from every single Raiders game, and they're a good bad team.
Yeah, they're a good bad team. We've got a lot of good bad teams. If we saw the Raiders play the Bears, the universe would end.
Yeah. 100%.
Okay, so back to your picks. What did you bet this weekend?
I had a lot more live stuff on Pittsburgh. Just them to win the first half, and pretty much everything came through in that game. And then I took Dallas to the Giants live when they were down. That was a nice one.
That was a nice one, and like this is like the perfect year for live betting.
Yeah, everyone's coming back.
There's no defenses in the NFL. There's like 1.5 teams have a good defense. Teams I believe teams have blown double-digit touchdown leads in multiple times every weekend. So
The Seahawks are great. I got the Seahawks plus 7.5 yesterday for betting money.
that's incredible value right there. Plus 7.5 even money. So you did that in the first half. So you're getting better about pulling the trigger, I see.
Yes. No, these at a certain point, especially you know Russell Wilson's going to do something. Like you know he's going to make a comeback. He's going to make an effort. He's not going to lay down and die.
Yeah, and as I say, Donnie is getting better at pulling the trigger. And if you're watching the stream, you can clearly see he's wearing paintball goggles.
Yeah. Just in case anyone attacks.
So you just won on that. You did live bets throughout the weekend on good teams, and that strategy ended you a 9-0 Sunday?
Yeah.
All right. So I thought that we had agreed on a parlay together. That's why I shopped it to you. So we liked the Cardinals.
Yes.
We liked the Rams. And you know what? We bet these games individually. There was no doubt about them. And so we threw them in a parlay with the Kansas City Chiefs money line. And I didn't think about that money line at all. The Raiders have not shown me anything where I would consider them a viable threat to Kansas City, even watching that entire game yesterday.
Except that Saints game.
Except that Saints game. But I also will say that the refereeing in that Saints game was very shady in the Raiders' favor.
Yeah.
And you know what? I don't mind losing that Kansas City bet on that parlay.
Can I ask a question of Donnie?
Yeah.
Yes.
If you felt that way about the Raiders, why didn't you tell us? Why didn't you text that to us?
Because I wasn't sure how much you're putting on it. I was very sure of that game, but I don't ever pull. I would never put them in a parlay, personally. But
if someone asks you, should we put them in a parlay, you won't object. You'll say it looks good to me
because it's still the Chiefs.
Yeah, it's a really bold take to take after the fact. It's like, I would never bet against the Raiders when you personally advised me to bet against the Raiders.
I think you also sent me that at 2 in the morning.
I was taking a midterm. I finished up. I got an A. I was all wound up from coffee and, not Adderall.
I was ready to go to bed.
I would like more of Donnie's betting insights in our text. That's my request.
Yeah, I got to make sure. Before I'll ask you a bet, what do you think of this? I'll just send, are you sleepy?
Please. That's actually very important, this strategy. It's all part of the algorithm.
Yeah, and it sucks because I missed on that parlay to start my day when I went 3-0 on my picks. Big hits on Texans, Cardinals, and Rams. Never any doubt about any of them. And then going into the afternoon slate, I talked about, a tactic I heard where if you were to tease all favorites and all dogs, those win 75% of those times. Luckily, I didn't do that. And I went in on Miami to get blown out. I took the Niners when everyone knows I hate the Niners. I was getting congratulations texts during that game. That's how much I hate the Niners. And I had to tell people, I bet on them this week. It was terrible. I didn't trust myself, but I did come through. I thought the Colts would win handily. I was so impressed with them against Chicago. The previous weekend just totally discombobulated them. And then the Browns were just awesome. I backed the Browns thinking I would lose $25. I just wanted to be on Brian Mitchell's good side. And they came through. They were dominant in that game. Phil Rivers looks terrible. And the Browns are playing the Steelers this weekend. And unfortunately, the Steelers' money line is probably the lock of the century.
The Steelers are playing. What's that at right now?
It's -3.5.
Oh, man. Yeah.
And it's a likable Browns team. On paper, the Browns have more talent and a better offense. And this win would
better. No, not a better, but a comparable.
Yeah, and their strengths align with Pittsburgh's, and this win would mean the world to their fans, which tells me they have no chance against the Steelers. Big Brother is home. We saw this team get just like afraid when playing the Ravens. I think we're going to see the same thing against the Steelers this week. So,
we for sure saw the Bengals afraid against the Ravens.
Yeah, I mean the
They
Ravens.
played scared.
The Ravens
They couldn't touch us.
Yeah, the Ravens going for a field goal in the waning moments of that time, like I think Joe Burrow is legit. I think they've got some great weapons to surround him with. Coach Zach Taylor had a good first 2 weeks on the job and has then appeared to be absolute trash. Even when you're rebuilding, they haven't even looked viable or well-run or coached at all. Burrow's getting killed out there.
They can't block. The Ravens don't have a good pass rush. That game was not indicative of the Ravens being good. Yes, they have Matthew Judon, but you saw what the Chiefs did to them. They couldn't get to Patrick Mahomes ever. He had all the time in the world to throw. Same thing in the first couple of games. They were not getting the quarterback. I think the Bengals have an awful offensive line. And therefore, Burrow is going to be killed regardless of how good he is.
And, this isn't to say Joe Burrow isn't good, because he has covered. His record against the spread is 4-1, actually, which is great for a rookie quarterback. But it's going to get ugly as the year goes on. We saw a bad offensive line ruin David Carr previously.
Yeah.
And Burrow, he's in some trouble here.
Arguably the best pass rush in football. He's got to play the Steelers pass rush, he's got to play the Browns pass rush, and then you saw what the Ravens did to them. And I would say they probably got the third best of those three.
Yeah, absolutely. So, on that same token, I know I'm locking against them. Another impressive win by the Browns. Kevin Stefanski can coach, and I think there's going to be good value in the Browns in the wild card round, actually.
As in the Browns to make the wild card round or win in the wild card round?
Yeah, I think I would bet the Browns to get a playoff spot, and I think if the Browns are going to get anything more than 4.5, just the fact that they're a team that can rush the passer and constantly run clock, if you ever see this team getting more than 4 points, just by nature of how they're built, you're going to want to back them as an underdog play.
Absolutely. I can see both of the wild card teams coming out of the AFC North very easily.
Yeah, and I think you can book that right now. They added another wild card in the so there's 7 spots here.
Yeah.
Even if there weren't, I would probably pick 2 NFC North teams.
There's no way to be 2 from the South. Probably not the West. Maybe the Raiders. That's the only competition, though.
I think you could.
I don't see New England coming for Buffalo because of the weird COVID stuff. That's kind of a fluke, but
yeah, but we'll see. Who does Buffalo play tomorrow? That weird COVID stuff is coming for you, Josh Allen. I'm sorry.
You better not.
Yeah, there no weird COVID stuff in Buffalo. Aren't they playing Tennessee tomorrow? But luckily Tennessee is
they're coming down here.
Yeah, you could go to Josh Allen's hotel right now. Go say hello.
It's so funny. This is the first game that Nashville has allowed fans.
They're allowing fans at this game?
They're allowing fans
no.
at this game. Yeah.
You're kidding me.
$120 pop. And the first home game of the season, no fans. But now it's like, I think now's a good time. Now seems like a good time as ever. Let's go put it up, baby.
Yeah, now that there's an active outbreak that we know is contained at the arena, Alltel Stadium, is it?
Nissan Stadium. You gotta be careful with that one.
Nissan Stadium. Okay. Yeah, now that the stadium is literally a vector of disease. You know what? Come on down, folks.
It's a 3-minute walk from Kid Rock's big ass rock and roll honky tonk steakhouse.
So I see you have your Tuesday night all mapped out.
Absolutely.
Okay. Probably the biggest burning question I have, Andy Reid, is he wearing a face shield or did he get that stuck to his head after visiting a buffet?
Yeah, this is a sneeze card.
He got too excited about all of the bacon bits in there. Mm-hmm. You know what? The Chiefs will bounce back. That's going to be a money line play from me next week against the Ravens. I might put all of my personal wallet
Against the Ravens?
Sorry, against the Bills.
Against the Bills. Yes, I agree with that. I think the Bills easily get to 5-0 against Tennessee.
Yeah.
And then that's where they fall. There's no way the Bills need the Chiefs.
Yes.
That's got to be their small spot.
Okay, so one more game I want to get to. My babies. I love the Carolina Panthers. Matt Rule is so good. They got to see how a real team is run, and he finally forced the Falcons to fire Dan Quinn. We saw the dead cat bounce with the Houston Texans this weekend. And you know what? I'm going to use this as a segue into my next topic of conversation. This week, I see the Falcons 3.5-point dogs against the Minnesota Vikings. Do you think they galvanize around a coach being fired and cover that spread?
I don't know. It depends if Dalvin Cook's healthy or not. Is he? Because he came out of that game in Seattle last week.
Yeah, I think they kept him out just because his backup was being so productive.
His backup was playing really well too. I think Minnesota could have one of those encouraging losses out of that Seattle game. And Matt Ryan won't do the same thing to them as Russell Wilson.
Maybe. And let me ask this question. At this point in the season, we've seen how these teams are doing. Who has the best value from a betting line perspective?
At this point, it feels like that Vegas started coming around on the Panthers. Because they're definitely up there as far as value. I like the Packers a lot. The Packers are winning all their games, and Vegas isn't really adjusting to that. They still don't think they're that good.
Yeah, and on that note, I'm going to stay in the NFC North, and I think there's incredible value in the Vikings moving forward. They're 1-4, yes. They've lost to Seattle. They've lost to Indianapolis. None of these losses are truly that embarrassing. And moreover, they had 13 rookies to start the season. They had so many rookies on their roster that didn't have a real training camp, that had no preseason. And I think this is actually a pretty effective roster. We saw them go absolutely toe-to-toe with a Super Bowl contender last night. And Seattle was so lucky to win that game.
They convert that fourth down.
Yeah, if they convert that fourth down, if they kick the field goal, for Russell Wilson, if they get anything off that Russell Wilson pick, heck, even if they let Russell Wilson score on that initial drive with 5 minutes to go, the Vikings probably win that game.
Yeah.
And so moving forward, I think they're a better team in their division than the Bears are. The Bears are 4-1. The Vikings are 4-1. And there's going to be a rematch of those teams in Minnesota where my money will absolutely be on the Vikings money line. And you know what? It's going to hit.
Yeah. I think that's a great argument. I could see them coming back from some of the season. My only pushback is Kirk Cousins. He is just the streakiest, up and down. Looks like that. Plays like the worst. Speaking of that, Phillip Rivers, how bad was he?
Phillip Rivers was terrible, and that's also just a huge indicator of the Colts offense. I'm the only Phil Rivers fan I know.
I hate him.
You know me. I take a lot of the way my attitude when I play sports is taken directly from Phil Rivers. So I'm sorry. I had to bench you in a birthday basketball tournament, and I had to explain my decisions to you after the fact.
Sure.
But
you lost.
We had a good run though.
Yeah, we did.
But Phil Rivers was so washed for the Chargers last year. The Colts have an incredible defense. They might have the best player in the NFL, Quentin Nelson, on their offensive line, and yet in terms of moving forward with this team, they could easily go with Jacoby Brissett, who the locker room loves, who plays with heart and determination, and he basically got raised by Bill Parcells. I don't know about you, but I think that's a pretty fucking good thing to have in a quarterback.
Yeah, I would bench Philip Rivers.
Yeah,
If I was them, they're paying him a lot of money.
They're paying him so much money. He threw 2 interceptions yesterday. He easily could have thrown 6, and that's
Some of them look bad. Like some of them look like rookie mistakes. They look like they could have been Dwayne Haskins, Daniel Jones, or those are all second years. That's so bad.
Yeah, and like Haskins, shouts to him for not coming to that game. Absolutely incredible. I never thought I would see someone flame out worse than Jamarcus Russell, and we might be getting it.
He just straight didn't show up for the game?
No, he didn't show up to the game as the third down. And like, let me just say, I've seen some heroic things. I saw the firefighters at the World Trade Center. I saw the Tsarnaevs get caught. And I saw the miracle on ice at the Lake Placid Olympics. But nothing I've ever seen has been as inspirational as Alex Smith coming back from a broken leg.
Yeah, he did break the leg, didn't he?
I just wanted to see him manage a game one more time, and dadgummit, I did it.
Yes. Comeback player of the year.
Has any story been more forced in human history than this Alex Smith one?
They're saying he almost died because of the infection or something. But that doesn't really, like, he's still going to be able to play football. As long as that sticks. I mean, it's probably scary.
Yeah, and if he almost died because of an infection, and we know what we know about the Washington medical staff, how can you look at this story as anything but, oh, Washington almost killed him, and he's dumb enough to still work for them?
It kind of makes Trent Williams look like a whiner.
Yeah, they're just infecting me with staph infection and telling me it's vitamin D. I don't know what's wrong.
That team has a damn good culture. Always.
We're going to make our coach, hey, pay attention to Alex Smith. He's playing through his big recovery. Never mind that we're making our coach be on the sidelines with cancer.
They're I'm going to go here. I don't think the name change fixed anything. It would be amazing if the name change to just Washington football team was the best thing they did all season, but it's tracking down right now.
Yeah, but they still might win this division.
That's also very true. Had Dallas not had that comeback yesterday, that was ridiculous. I can't believe that game was as competitive as it was.
That game was crazy. And now would be a good point to just point out that Andy Dalton has a $7 million bonus if he wins the Super Bowl.
Ooh.
And yeah, prayers to Dak Prescott. Usually when I see a heel turn like that, I'm watching WWE WrestleMania. That thing was out of the shoe, on the field, walking away on its own. And
there's not enough people in the world to fix that.
Did we see that enough yesterday?
No, but if he played for Washington, it would be inspiring if he did a snap.
Yeah, I mean, if he played for Washington, they'd be like, oh, get the documentary crew rolling.
Yeah.
Let's do it. And, like, you know, he would be getting staph infection right now if he was in Washington.
100%.
A broken leg, turns out, doesn't have to be life-threatening. Who would have thought?
Absolutely. It's good to see that. It's good to be a functional franchise, not he'll come close to killing their franchise quarterback.
Yeah, 100%.
America's team,
because they have a health crisis.
Yeah.
And like a lot of people are saying Dallas is still going to win this division. Oh, Andy Dalton's going to be fine. And like, sure, Andy Dalton's capable, but I worry more about them losing their all-pro left tackle for the entire season. If you lose your left tackle and a quarterback, that's your entire identity as a football team.
Yeah, well, also their defense. They're out pretty much all their linebackers.
Yeah, they all have neck injuries.
What's going on down there?
What? Yeah, Dallas is in trouble, but I'm gonna pull up the NFC East division odds right now. Dallas even odds, the prohibitive favorite. Eagles plus 120, Washington plus 900, and Giants 20-1.
I mean, if we don't bet Dallas, we stay away forever.
I mean,
or should we bet Philly for Sam's sake?
I think we bet Phillies for Sam's sake and our wallet's sake.
Nah. Even I would be on Dallas on that one.
I'm totally on Dallas. I think they have too much talent. Does like their skill positions are incredible. They got that win. They've got Greg the Leg.
They do have Greg the Leg.
He came in and won it for him yesterday.
If I'm looking at other divisional bets, I'm not really seeing anything that I want to place. Maybe Tampa Bay plus 140 I could be talked into. Right now, the Patriots are plus 220 to win their division. If the Bills take care of business tomorrow night, those odds will probably go upwards a little bit. Mm-hmm. So I might be inclined to bet New England at plus
I would be inclined, but the COVID situation is too wonky.
So we had this side of the conversation. Let's have the other conversation. What team has the worst value moving forward?
Least value?
Yeah, whose stock is high? Who's the Tesla of the NFL? They can't justify these valuations. If you need a second, I have my answer ready. So let me know, Playboy.
Yeah, I would just have to say, at this point, I haven't been looking at the value, like which teams not to bet and which teams to bet. But I think the teams that you paid, I think there's more value in that than there's more value in the Jets and the Giants and all these the Jaguars than there is in picking the team with the least amount of value. But if I had to say that, I think I hate to say it, but it might be the Ravens.
Yeah, I think you're right, actually. The Ravens, they're going to be a prohibitive favorite, but they're just a no-doubt top 5 team. And if they're, I could be inclined to bet on them if they're given anything less than 9.5 against anyone. They give a possible blowout anytime. And that, we talk about, sometimes losses are good for the gambling futures. The Chiefs losing yesterday, sure, it cost me $100 on a parlay, but that's going to be good long-term and better odds. And that's the same case with the Chiefs-Ravens game.
I sure hope you're right. As a fan of the team, I hated that game because it just kind of keeps the skepticism about Lamar Jackson alive until he does anything in the playoffs. Because none of these games are going to matter. As far as everyone having their doubt about Lamar, those people are still going to be doubters until he gets over the hump.
Yeah, but it's not the worst thing in the world. You know what the problem is. It's we're bad in this type of football game. We lose games when teams skew the numbers and make us play from behind in a very specific way. It's not an indictment on Lamar as a player or a quarterback. It's just a lot of these guys, they win rings super young. Roethlisberger, Russell Wilson, Rodgers, Mahomes. And so, the fact that there is a great quarterback who's ascending and we can nitpick his ascendance, that's good for sports media business.
Yes, it very much is, but we're going to have the same arguments about him until he gets over the hump.
Yeah,
that's as a fan, people, I'm going to have to defend him, and I can't until he gets over the hump.
Yeah, but you're in year 2, and we saw Peyton Manning go through 10 years of this. So it's not going to be a death knell. It's not going to be a curse. And you know what? He could never overcome this. He might deal with this his entire career, and he still might win 2 or 3 Super Bowls, in which case you'd probably be happy.
That would be great, but at this point, it's more about that our defense never shows up again home.
Yeah, well,
He has our way with our defense every single time we play. They were 10 for 12 on third down that Monday night.
they were 10 for 12. Pat Mahomes is terrific, but maybe the Raiders kind of showed the world a little bit how to score. I mean, they were surprisingly stingy against you guys in that matchup. And this Chiefs team, there does seem to be a propensity for trying to flip the switch. They put themselves in holes, they give up leads, and they are that confident they're the best teams that there's going to be some hiccups in the road, and we came up on the wrong side of it. Now, back to the team I think is overvalued. Pittsburgh Steelers. We talked about how they're going to beat the Browns this weekend, but that doesn't stop me from looking at their 4-1 record and seeing that their opponents have a record of 3-15-1. So that puts an asterisk next to the record for me.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. Once they start playing these good teams, I think they will start to see some decline. But it's hard to know exactly where the vulnerabilities are. They're pretty solid everywhere, but not great anywhere.
Yeah. And, just as they go, they haven't played either of the other two opponents in the AFC North. And so there's two bets in particular against a team that might have a lot of crustacean in their diet, in which case I'm going to be taking the Baltimore Birds all day. There are certain divisional games that I'm so excited for in this year's NFL season. I like that Vikings-Bears matchup. I can't wait to see the Bills beat the New England Patriots. And from a financial perspective, I think the Steelers are going to have a huge wake-up call against the Baltimore Ravens. When do they play for the first time?
November 1st.
November 1st. It's going to be the Halloween. Oh, do we have Halloween on a Saturday this year?
We do have Halloween on Saturday.
Wow.
On a Sunday.
I can't wait to not go out.
And then Baltimore Pittsburgh on Thanksgiving night, too.
There's only one game on Thanksgiving, actually.
No.
Going back to the holiday institution, there's only one game on Thanksgiving. That holiday belongs to you. Have your Super Bowls. You take your Ray Lewis, your Ed Reed, your Joe Flacco. Thanksgiving's ours. You're playing on Black Friday. You're TiVoing it, watching that shit at midnight.
I sure hope we get that. I hope the season makes that far.
Hey. This is a happy place. I forgot to do an ad read. I'm going to do that real quick. Okay. Do you like Joel Walkowski? Do you like Jamie Foxx? How about the Detroit Lions? What do all these three have in common? We all won Oscars for it. No. We are sponsored by the same wonderful institution, BetMGM Sportsbook. They're live for legal betting in Colorado, Indiana, Nevada, New Jersey, and West Virginia. Home of Max Ogle. Are you betting on the NFL this season? How about the MLB playoffs? I'm on the Dodgers tonight, or the Masters coming up in just a few weeks. Yesterday, Sam said John Daly was a better athlete than Babe Ruth. So if you're going to do that, take some of that action to BetMGM. Why? Because for a limited time, BetMGM has a special signing bonus for the Props Network listeners. All you have to do is create a new account at BetMGM and use code WALKON20 to get a 100% match on your first deposit up to $500. That's right, just enter code WALKON20 and up to a $500 bonus bankroll is yours. Then you will enjoy all the weekly betting promos that BetMGM has to offer. This week you can get a $20 refund if you guess wrong on an NFL first touchdown score prop. Spoiler alert, you will. Or get a $20 free bet when you bet $50 plus on an NFL live game. Donnie, and as always, you'll get an additional $10 free bet in the BetMGM Money Monday Club. So try BetMGM with code WALKON20 now while offers last. Must be 21 or older to bet online. Do you or know have a gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER today. Bang, bang. So, Donnie, what's the best team to live bet?
That would absolutely have to be the Seattle Seahawks.
And how many weeks in a row have the Seahawks live bets been worked out for you?
They're 5-0, and they played 5 games.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And
undefeated so far. I know it's going to back eventually.
So the second question, what is the second best team to live bet against.
A live bet again?
Second best team. We all know the first. They're coached by a bag of shit in a duffel garbage bag.
That's true. I think the best team to live bet against. It would have to be the. I'm going to go with the 49ers.
Ooh, I like that. They could be caving. You see them really. They're bringing out quarterbacks, and you're absolutely stunned that the Fox Graphics truck has cartoon illustrations done of those quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I'm really mad about those drawings.
I was very mad about the drawings yesterday. So many people have those drawings right now. They should mean something.
You weren't mad about that there are drawings. It was that everyone has a drawing.
Everyone has a drawing. Well, last week I saw Hawks score a touchdown, and I was like, all right, Hawks making it. And then yesterday I see Preston Williams has an illustration. C.J. Beathard has an illustration. Everyone has an illustration. Doesn't mean anything anymore.
No, it really is all value.
Thank you for indulging me in that take, Donnie. I know it's
the worst was just ESPN Monday Night Graphics. They make like fishermen and like they're all like fire or something vaguely folksy, and they look like Grand Theft Auto characters.
Counterpoint, I like those a lot.
Oh, that was bad.
There was one on Lions GM Bob Quinn where he was called Bob the Builder, and there was a little Bob the Builder episode of him buying Trey flowers. It was sick. Yeah. He built
around a campfire or a rocket ship. I forget which.
Nothing was better than the first time we ever turned into NASCAR. All the graphics were of wheels being turned into cheese for some reason. So,
we're really wrong part of this media. We need to be the ideas behind the graphics.
So let's go. Before we get you out of here, thank you for taking the time to walk with us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's kind of like that old parable about Jesus. You know, see that there are always two steps of footsteps going down the beach. And, you know, there was only one step of footprints. And that's when I have to do the ad reads.
I thought for sure you were going to try and figure out how to make a stutter joke.
I'm past stutter jokes. I've made all the stutter jokes I can make. I'm now on to making fun of you for trying to look like Rodrigo Blankenship.
Hey, go.
Killing me all the time, and he looks like today. That's exactly who it is.
Yeah. Has anyone jumped the shark quicker in sports than Rodrigo?
I think he's great, and I couldn't be more excited for the Georgia-Alabama game on Saturday.
Okay, so let's talk college then.
I can't believe it gets that this early in the season.
No, we're waiting. We have Georgia, Alabama. Alabama's favored by 6 in this game. I think
that's a playoff matchup this early.
And, you know, I'll probably be watching with Eli, so I'll be betting on Alabama, but...
I'm all over Georgia.
Yeah, it's the Georgia money line is the play here, right?
Absolutely. I see the Georgia money line plus 175. You see that?
Yeah, I do see that.
Yeah, that's obviously it. Because Alabama's schedule. There's way lower in Georgia's. They beat Missouri. They struggled with Ole Miss, and then they beat Texas A&M, who struggled to beat Vandy the week before. And Georgia's three games, they got a slow start against Arkansas, who were finding out a little bit better than everybody thought. And then they turned on the gas in the second half, beating them by 27.
Yeah,
and then they beat Auburn easily, and they beat UT in the second half. Easy. 14-7. They're great. Go Dogs.
And you know what? I get that. I think you're absolutely right. Georgia money line is the play here. The over-under is 59, so maybe you could go crazy. If Georgia wins this game, it's a shootout. You know, so
I completely agree.
And you know, I only worry about them having such a quarterback going into Tuscaloosa against like a strangely veteran Alabama team. Like there's more fifth-year seniors than a remedial math class. And So I would maybe go.
They didn't win a championship. In order to graduate from Alabama, you have to win a championship. They didn't let you off the team.
So that game's one to bet, but there's actually some good value other places across the board.
Mm-hmm.
I really like Miami, 10.5-point favorites, coming off a bad loss against the best team in the country against Pitt.
Yes. I think Miami definitely bucked it.
Yeah, Miami in Miami against Pittsburgh. They're the second best team in the ACC. It's just that they've got Clemson around. Secondly,
well, it's weird listening because Notre Dame also in the ACC, and they're definitely the second best
sorry,
team in the ACC.
I knew that. I'm just showing my age because when I was growing up, Notre Dame was an independent.
I think Notre Dame was independent until coronavirus.
Yeah, it's hard to keep up with where Notre Dame is. That being said, my calendar is also circled for November 7th when they visit South Carolina.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
I can't wait.
Secondly, I like Tennessee by 6 over Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee's a good team. They played an elite squad, and they're going to bounce back at home and win by more than a touchdown.
Right. They played Georgia in Georgia and were competing. They won the first half. If it wasn't for the sloppiness the second half, I think they could have competed throughout that game with one of the best teams in the country.
Yeah, they were just sloppy with the ball in that game, and that came back to haunt them. And, against Kentucky, who's bottom of the SEC, they are being a little spry and competitive this year.
Mm-hmm.
I expect them to win by a touchdown pretty easily. And then last one, how the mighty have fallen. I hate both these teams after what they did to me this past weekend.
Florida and LSU. I already know what you're going to say.
Florida and LSU. There will not be a lot of great O-line play in this one. I tell you that much.
There's not going to be any defense. There's not going to be a lot of defense. I think this could be a shootout for sure. That Florida could win pretty easily at the same time.
Yeah, in this game, what do you think the over-under is?
60?
73.
Good Lord.
73 is the over-under here. LSU is getting 13 points. So
LSU's getting 13? Okay.
Yeah, LSU's getting 13, and given that value off a terrible start, I like Florida a lot. I love Kyle Pitts. I might be inclined to back LSU here.
Wait. You love Florida a lot? You might be inclined to back LSU?
Yeah, getting 13 points in a conference game when you probably have the most five-star recruits in that matchup. There's a lot of things in that betting line that point me to LSU.
That's a stay away from me. Might throw Florida in a parlay with a bunch of other teams, but stay away from the most part.
And the last one, we all know everyone's talking about it. Ole Miss, Arkansas.
Go Razorback.
Ole Miss, only 3-point favorites in this one. I think that's just another line that says to me, good value.
Yeah, I agree. Because Arkansas has got their first win in the SEC in years. Vanderbilt could have gotten theirs this week, but their game got postponed. There's another outbreak. The second biggest football team in Nashville, Tennessee. Yeah. But Vanderbilt was supposed to go to Missouri, but the game got postponed.
Yep, things are looking rough for that state in terms of football, and I think things will be looking rough for Arkansas with Ole Miss in town.
But Tennessee, thinking of November 1st, legalized sports betting is coming to Tennessee. And Sam, where are we at getting me a promo code?
Yeah, what did you want that code to be again?
Please, could it be promo code Stunner?
I can pretty much guarantee that's not taken, so we'll request that right away.
Look, this kid,
incredible.
You see the guff he gives me about, Joel's going to do a stutter joke here. No, I didn't do a stutter. Who made the stutter joke in this show, Donnie?
What other recognizable features do I have? It's so easy. And I can't wait to plug at the end of my set with please sign up for blank with promo code Cutter and get whatever off your
What other recognizable features do you have? You have a douchebag Italian soccer jersey, you have douchebag Italian glasses, and you have one of your mom's baseball caps.
These are from Costco. It's Italian.
These are Kirkland.
My family is from Kirkland.
Hey, they make great golf balls, Kirkland.
They make good cashews and dress shirts as well. All right. Well,
can't beat it.
Well, thank you for coming on. Always a pleasure to talk with you outside of Facebook Messenger.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I'm going to go bask in what is sure to be a glorious New Orleans Saints cover tonight. I'm going to take the Uber home. And, Herbert Mania, not tonight.
One more locker this week. The under on the Colts Bengals game. It's 46 right now, and I have evens for under 46.
That's a good line.
I'm all over that. That's my lock week.
What's the Colts line there?
The Colts plus 8. Sorry, Cincinnati plus 8, Colts minus 8.
Oh, so why don't we just tease the under and the Colts there? Boom.
Yeah, I think that's a great play.
Lock it in.
Great play. Lock it in. I'll consult you when I put in my wagers for the week.
Absolutely.
In the meantime, be well. What are your handles?
I'm at ThankSnack on all social media.
And,
check it out.
And if you look into a mirror at midnight and stutter 3 times, he will appear to you.
Yeah, don't do that. I have homework.
All right.
Well, good talking to you, buddy. Have a good time. See you guys.
See you, Don.
All right. Good night, little guy. Love you. All right. That was Donnie. This was Joel. And this was the Walk On here on TPN, the Props Network. Where else? Brian will be back Wednesday. We'll be talking some MLB on Wednesday. We will have more talk on Friday with Steve Clark doing the props drop. And we're going to have good episodes for you moving forward. Write us. Let us know what you think about the business model, whether or not I should be in the sauna.
Well, can I point out, not one person commented that they want more sauna content. So sauna content, not in demand.
Look, bro, you're in hot water with me, Kotler. No coals for Joel. That's the real thesis for this one. And I guess our episode just got its title, in which case, for TPN The Walk On, I'm Joe Walkowski, walking off.